Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Johnston Plumley with the Central Texas Music Experience, here with Megan Blair, who's going to play an intro for us. Take it away.
Do you even know my name? Do you think you can keep up with my pace? Do you think I want to come back to your place? Do you? Do you? Do you know what turns me on? Do you even know my favorite song? Do you think we could talk all night long? Do you? Do you? 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, don't go wasting mine. 'Cause I like to drink on Friday night some cold beer. Baby, please whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Hold my hand as we walk in the rain and people stare. Baby, I don't care. Do you? Do you? Do you really want me bad? Do you think there's some to be had? Do you think we could make this last? Do you? Do you? 'Cause I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, don't go wasting mine. 'Cause I like to drink on Friday night some cold beer. Baby, please whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Hold my hand as we walk in the rain and people stare. Baby, I don't care. 'Cause I like to drink on Friday night some cold beer. Baby, please whisper sweet nothings in my ear. Hold my hand as we walk in the rain and people stare. Baby, I don't care. Do you? Do you? Do you? Do you? Yeah.
That was great.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. This is our 5th episode of the Central Texas Music Experience, here with Megan Blair.
What up, what up?
What's up? And we are sponsored by fucking nobody. And I'm just going to keep putting this across because we got a lot of... we just want some product plugs out here. And we're out here supporting local musicians. We want to put them out there. So Megan is a good friend of mine and Ashley's. And what was that?
Thank you.
So I'm really glad that you responded pretty quickly and we were able to get you out here.
Well, of course. I mean, ever since becoming friends with Ashley this past year, not just our musical connection that we have through writing and the same types of music that we enjoy. I mean, we've become really close friends, I would say, over the year. And so, of course, I mean, I would love to do this stuff.
Well, a lot of times what I get from people when I talk about this is that it's like a different way of promoting things. Like,
it is. Because
we're using YouTube and Podbean.com, and then it's going to iTunes. So it's like a whole different, type of way of promoting. It's, sure you can, do a little phone clip of what you do. Okay, cool. But this is like an interview format. This gives people to give an opportunity to see the personal aspect of an artist. So that's kind of what I wanted to bring across. And so to have great musicians like 7 Years Today and Justin Bravo and Stormy Lee and you. So it's just like, and hopefully I'm gonna get Kirk Baxley next. That's the goal. So I'm gonna have him up here.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to have somebody else knocking on my door pretty soon. I'm not going to say who it is because I want him to come to me. So.
Right.
And, you guys, all the fans out there will just have to deal with it when he comes on the show. So.
Yeah.
Those who are in the know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. So.
Oh, I feel like I know who you're talking about. and he wants like a demo CD of mine.
Well, okay.
Like, no joke.
Well, let's talk about this. How come you haven't? Do you have something that you're working on right now?
That is a very good question, Dawson. Let me tell you. About, oh goodness, it was probably about a year ago. I went to an open mic night in Llano, and the winner got 8 hours of free recording time.
I remember talking about this. That's why I want you to talk about it.
Right. I went and did that, and it has never actually been finished. I think there was a lot of miscommunication between me and the person I was working with, that I finally just got to a point where I'm like, screw it, like, it is what it is. It's done. I'll just deal with it the way I have it. Exactly. And so I'm actually in the process of more than likely going to Austin. There's a place in Austin that I have been, I guess you could say, directed towards, about going and doing some recording there under a really good name. And so I'm probably going to redo those songs, and if not, just get them mastered. That way I can just get them out there, get them into somebody's hands, get them on the radio, that they're radio ready, because right now they're not radio ready. But I still do a lot of those same songs, which is only 2 songs, and those are my main 2 songs that I do everywhere. But yeah, I'm in the process of doing some more recording, getting a bigger eclectic CD together of all of the different stuff that I've written so far. Probably won't do any covers on it because it's more personal, it's more my stuff. As an artist, when I go to places, of course, I'm going to do covers, but other than that, I'm in the process of trying to get more stuff out there.
Well, let me ask you this. Is ultimately the goal, like, with the recording, is to get radio play? I mean, because if there's not so many avenues out there, which there are a couple avenues out there for radio play, would you rather stick to, like, maybe, like, do self-promoting, like, on iTunes and Reverb Nation, Facebook, which is free on Facebook and Reverb Nation to a certain extent, and then, of course, iTunes you kind of have to pay for.
Right.
Like me personally, I think, self-promotion is the biggest promotion because, the radio, if the guys don't want to play you, then they're not going to play you.
Right. For me, I'm just kind of open to everything. I want it to be radio ready because if I can get it in the hands of somebody who likes it, who's in that avenue, who can get me out there, then of course, by all means, get me out there. But as far as promoting myself, that's basically kind of what I've been doing. Just, making more connections, making new friends who know a whole lot more. Ashley and Johnston. So, I mean, of course, I want it to be radio ready. I want all my stuff to be radio ready. But at the same time, I mean, that's all I've done is self-promotion. I'm, going to all these different bars and meeting new people. O'Brien's, I just recently started going over there, and for Ashley's birthday bash, when I was able to open up, it opened up a lot more doors, I think, to be able to go out there and do more things at O'Brien's, as well as, stick to where I've kind of been doing, with my roots as far as, like, VFW and Lampasas and, Joker's Ice House and Colleen. And so, I mean, sticking to my roots, but still branching out, but I'm definitely open for anything. Okay,
so now we talked about that a little bit. Let's get into the very roots of your, since you brought up roots. Let's talk about some musical influences. Right now, okay, if you could say in the mainstream musical influences when you were a kid or something that influences you now, locally, what influences you and your writing style?
Oh boy, that's a hard question to answer.
We're gonna bring the hard questions today. That's what we're striving for, is for the hard questions.
Speaking of roots, Megan's got her shoes off with a cooler of Bud Light. My feet, she's like,
yeah, I do have my shoes off, and actually, I've gotten to where I kind of follow you a little bit more. I don't, maybe because I want to be
do
just
not
like
say
you.
do not say the phrase of that brand of beer in this, because we're trying to plug a different type of beer.
Well, you can see it on the camera.
No, you can't.
Well, when I pick it up, yeah, you can.
Okay, for those of you who don't know, we're trying to get Lone Star to be a sponsor of this podcast, and as things go on, hopefully we'll become popular enough where we can actually do that. But for right now, we're just gonna pretend like you're drinking a Lone Star.
Well, normally, it's funny because I never really wanted to acquire any sort of kind of taste for beer except for Bud Light. I knew I could handle it. It tasted good to me. My dad, when I was growing up, he always drank Keystone. It was cheap beer, and he liked it. Now so much he has to drink O'Doul's, the light beer, but that's because of some health issues. But, Keystone was just gross to me. And then I started drinking beer, and I was like, oh, my gosh, the only one I could even stand to drink was Bud Light. After hanging out with you and Ashley, I've really acquired a taste for Lone Star, and I like it. And when we go places, I try to get a Lone Star instead of a Bud Light. But
she's the one who got me hooked on Lone Star.
Right.
I don't know who got her hooked on Lone Star.
Justin
Bravo got us hooked on Lone Star.
Right.
Okay, so
I meant to bring mine in. Dadgummit.
So thank you, Justin. I really appreciate that.
Yes. Right. But, as far as, I guess you could say that's where my roots are, was through Bud Light. But I definitely acquired it.
Bud Light's an influence, music influence.
Well, you never know.
Well, okay. So, like, if you could name an artist like you used to listen to, maybe when you were a kid or something now that really sparks your, like, man, I want to not be like them, but I want to emulate,
right.
If you could pinpoint it.
Wow. Honestly, I grew up listening to a lot of different country music, classic rock, through my dad. My mom is a musician, through church. She plays the guitar along with my aunt. And my dad, I think he can sing, but it's not, his thing. It's not what he wants to do in life, So I kind of grew up in a musically inclined family, and I love it. Like Thanksgiving, we all get around, we bust out our guitars, and we just, we sing anywhere, anything from gospel and Christian music to, you never even called me by my name. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Brandon goes and sings it, right?
Right, and then he runs it. I'm just kidding, Brandon. Love you. But, oh, man, I guess recently, within the last, I would say 7 years, the biggest musical influence I've had in my life is Miranda Lambert. And a lot of that is because I can relate to her music. And she sings about stuff that I've been through, that, I'm going through as well. But if I could say another musical influence of mine, it would have to be Patsy Cline and, Patsy Cline and Alison Krauss. My dad loves Alison Krauss. And Patsy Cline, her music, it's something I can sing, number one. Number two, it's so simple. Like, music has gotten, especially mainstream country music, it's just gotten so poppy. And, to each their own. People like it. I like it. There's some things I catch myself liking, and I'm like, dang it, I don't want to like that. But at the same time, you got to hand it to them because they're making millions off of it,
Well, they got the kind of formula down. It wasn't like that for a long time.
Right.
It used to be, Nashville music for a long time was very, very separate from mainstream music in a whole.
Right.
Where you had pop and you had rock and you had, hip hop, rap, R&B. They were all kind of separated, to the point where you had, they had their own award show for country music. So
right.
It's like, but then they kind of started crossing over into the mainstream. I don't know how that happened, So some marketing genius on the other, with a suit and tie kind of probably made that happen.
Right.
But of course, with a lot of the younger artists coming out and kind of doing their thing, shaking their ass on TV, and, and so it just kind of transitioned to where it's now, okay, it's okay to like country music.
Yeah.
Like I remember back in the day, country music was like a home thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you were with your buddies and you're driving in a truck somewhere or you're outside, country music, it just depends on the group of people that you were with.
Right.
But now it's like, okay, who hasn't heard of Taylor Swift, for example?
Yeah. Wow.
Who hasn't heard of Blake Shelton?
Right.
Because he's on the TV show The Voice.
Right.
So, and he's married to Miranda Lambert.
Of course.
But then, of course, you have some of the artists that came out right before that transition period who have actually helped move the transition to the kind of more popular mainstream kind of thing.
See, and when Taylor Swift first came out with her Tim McGraw song, I loved it, and I loved her whole album. But slowly and surely, I feel like she is probably one of the main ones who's kind of crossed over to more of that pop country. I mean, she was on the MTV Awards.
Well,
and we don't want to get into her and the Kanye West thing.
Well,
but
she's a heartthrob, like a teen heartthrob.
Yeah.
She's like relatable to the younger audiences, where previous artists, before the crossover, they were not crossing over into that younger crowd unless mom and dad was, playing it, on the CD player, on the record player, or in the car,
right.
So, but it just all depends on. But she made it in such a way where it's like it's got this crossover appeal,
right?
And like you said, she was on, the MTV music.
And now everyone's doing it. I mean, Blake Shelton, his "Boys Round Here" song, I can't stand it, but at the same time, I catch myself singing it because it's catchy. I mean, and that's where you get your millions at. Like, you don't want to like it, but then it's one of those. It's like your what is it called? When you have that one thing that you listen to, or that one thing that you like to eat, but you don't want anyone to know about it. My guilty pleasure, that's it. That Boys Around Here, it's my guilty pleasure. I don't want to admit it, but I can't help it.
I like music, like I like more of the indie, kind of thing. Like I like bands that you've never heard of.
Like, do you like Ingrid Michaelson?
I've heard some songs.
I love her.
But I like no, I'm serious. I like bands I never heard. Like, I've been going around like at these open mics and talking to guys and be like, hey, have you ever heard of Roadkill Ghost Choir? And they're like, no. And I'll play them a song and they're like, damn, because it's got like I don't know. I like something that like kind of mixes things together. Like they've got the bluegrass, with the banjo.
Yeah, I mean, I remember you've actually introduced me to them. Now, I'm not as big of a fan as you are, but that's also because I haven't listened to a whole lot of their stuff. But
I'm not a big fan. Good. I'm just like, okay, I like different music, like because. I like to be the one that is like not like a trendsetter, but I like to be like, okay, this is different, and not everybody's listening to it. Ladies and gentlemen, what you hear in the background is ice slushing around, and that's
sorry,
dog feet. This is a more relaxed version of our podcast than other times. Yeah, Ashley's gonna have to co-host one time. We'll do like a couch interview, and casting couch.
That'd be cool.
And we're not talking about the porn. Casting couch videos. But so talking about pop, rock, mainstream stuff like that. What has become one of your favorite songs to play that you have not written?
That I have not written. That's newer or older?
It doesn't matter. Audiences want to know, so you got to tell them.
All right. Well, like I told you, I grew up listening to a lot of stuff that my dad listened to. I mean, we'd be in the living room, and he would mute the TV and turn on the radio, and we'd sit there and we'd just listen to the radio and watch TV. Now, the TV was muted, but we'd watch it. But a lot of the stuff that I really like to listen to is some of that old classic stuff, like Foghat, Steppenwolf, stuff like that. And one of the main ones that I've really, really come to enjoy to play is Have You Ever Seen the Rain? I love that song. I love everything about that song. I think the way it is written is so unique that I can hardly ever remember how it's written. I mess it up all the time, but I think the lyrical content and just the meaning of it, it's just a great song.
It's got that simple bass line, which I like.
It does.
That doom, doom, doom.
Yeah.
That's like right before it gets into the chorus. That's like my favorite part in the song. It's like, I want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm singing. I'm sorry. I will never sing again. In the history of this podcast, I will never sing again.
I'm going to hold you to that because I think you will.
No. Negative. Alrighty. So what about one of your favorite songs to play that you've written?
Ooh. Man. That's the one thing about being an artist is, you start, you write a song and you just start to fall in love with it. And it becomes your favorite. And then you play it so much that you're like, I kind of hate that song. I felt it.
She has no manners.
We got dogs running amok in my podcast.
Sorry. It's just basic. She just wants some ice out of my cooler. No, I think right now one of my favorites is one that I just recently written within the last 2 weeks. I recently wrote it. It's starting to become a favorite of mine. But I think overall, golly, I could name a couple of them because I remember just right after writing them, I was so excited about them. And to me, they were good. And other people were responding to them, and they really liked them. So, the ones that I've always done, my Too Damn Broke song, Do You, Ferris Will, those are probably my top favorites right now, as well as my Runaway Heartbreak and then my new one that I just wrote. But, she's all right.
Making a cameo appearance.
But, it's one of those things, I'm always going to love my songs, but there's some that I'm just going to get annoyed at playing because you play them so much and you're like, crap.
Yeah, I hear that from a lot of artists that have come. I've asked that question. It's like, well, it's hard to pick one because,
Yeah, exactly. And it really is. But, going back and looking back, I fell in love with those songs when I wrote them. There's a lot of songs that I start out on or have ideas for, and I might even finish them, and I don't know if I like them that much because I feel like they need a lot of work, or there's a lot of changing, or they're too complex. And I don't mean musically, but I mean like just the lyrics with the music. It just makes it very, some of them are kind of dark. And I don't mean dark as in like morbid. I mean like just very like, you screwed me over, you man, and I'm going to be a crazy B word.
So you can transition to my next question, which is songwriting inspirations and songwriting methods. So, when you sit down and you decide, okay, well, first of all, I know that no artist sits down and decides I'm going to write a song unless it's like you maybe are just haven't written a song in a while. Most of the times it comes from like, okay, I'm doing laundry or something, I'm washing the dishes, and all of a sudden, boom, the line pops in your head, and so you go grab your guitar or whatever the case may be. Is that kind of how it works?
That is kind of how it works for me. There are some days I'll go through like just, excuse me, had a burp there, too much beer. No such thing. For about the last, what was it, like 3 or 4 months, I had writer's block so bad I couldn't come up with anything. And what I was coming up with was sounding like other stuff that I'd already written. I was like, well, no, I don't want to do that because then I'll have all these songs about, this same theme, same topic. And for a woman artist, I think that it's always going to come back to the same thing because we like to talk about our feelings.
or relationships.
Or relationships, yeah. And most men don't. They do. Don't get me wrong, they do. But a lot of mine are like, man, I just want to hit him in the face with a shovel, or I just want to run his car off over a bridge, or I'm going to videotape him sleeping with someone else so I can show it to his girlfriend now. You know, a lot of mine is like, you call me crazy, I'm going to show you crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you ever see, get a close look at this face right here, because you might see
me on America's Most Wanted.
Yeah, or on the nightly news.
Just kidding.
Suspect in the murder
of
blank blank. You know, we're not gonna say any names. So
right.
But
a lot of my inspiration, I mean, it really varies. For instance, my Too Damn Broke song, it came about because my dad wouldn't give me any money to go to South Padre with a friend. He wouldn't give me any money, and I got pissed off, and I went into my room because at the time I was living with him still. And it just came to me. Like, one thing started leading to another, and it just started flowing, and that's how that song came about. And then Do You, I couldn't even tell you how that one came about. It just kind of happened. But Too Damn Broke and Do You came about the same, like within a week or two of each other.
I think it's funny, the Do You song. For me, it's funny because I can parody that song. I like to parody that song because you could just pretty much add anything to it.
You walk around the house parodying that song.
Yeah. I walk around, okay. For all the artists who have been on my podcast, I walk around singing your songs and maybe changing the lyrics just a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not the next Weird Al Yankovic or anything, but
I love him by the way, or his stuff. He's, yeah. Okay, I'm glad you brought him up.
So if I'm parodying your songs, you can guarantee that I appreciate the time spent to write a great song, to make me want to walk around singing my own version of it.
Right.
Not saying you should change the lyrics or anything.
No, yeah.
But for whatever reason, dick and balls always end up in there. And vagina always ends up in my...
I'm telling you, like, I do the same stuff. Even with my own songs. You know, Do You, especially because it's one of those. Like, you can put... Do You, I mean, you can put anything after that. Do You, you know, lick the carpet. You know, just something off the wall. And... I mean, I'm not saying people lick carpet unless we're getting into
what are we talking
kind of innuendo.
Okay. Yeah, we can veered off on this podcast for just a little bit about what we're kind of talking about. So let's get back to it.
But yeah.
Now, I've noticed that you've gone out and you do a lot of acoustic sets now.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about putting a band together? Is that a goal of yours to get a band together? Do like the Megan Blair band or
Megan Blair experience? Woo. Yes. The answer to that is yes.
What's been the obstacle in your way from doing that?
You know, you always hear about. I'll do acoustic sets in places. For instance, the VFW in Lampasas. That's where I'm from. And that's where I live and reside right now. I'll go there and I'll do an acoustic set or go and open up for somebody who's playing there, you know, some friends of mine or whatever. And afterwards, you know, I'll have people come up to me and they're like, you know, you do really good. You know, if you need a bass player, like, I'm your guy. I can do anything. And you know, if you need a drummer, you know, I can play anything. You know, just give it to me. I can listen to it. I can play it backwards. And I'm like, okay, because I've gotten to learn as an artist, you can't, you know, especially in this business, you can't trust everybody that you talk to. And a lot of things that really make me nervous is trusting people with my music that have no clue what they're doing. I've been told over and over, especially of certain people that come to mind, that they can play anything, they can play it backwards. They're like walking iPods. And I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I play with them, and it's not at all what people have portrayed about them. So I'm very wary about who I trust with my music. There is a group that actually they disbanded, I guess you could say that they lost their lead singer. He kind of is doing his own thing with some other people, and that has happened once before, and they got back together. But I've played with them, and talk about some great musicians. They are, I mean, Eric Perez actually is his name. Him and his brother and his brother-in-law, they were the band for the Mike Petty band. I don't want to like put their thing out there, you know, whatever their issues were or whatever happened to why they're not playing together now. But when it comes to musicians and people that I trust, those guys I trust. Even Mike Petty, I trust him because I think he has a lot of great insight. But even with people I trust, I still kind of take what they tell me with a grain of salt, you know, because everyone's different. Everyone's musical ability is different. Everyone's talent is different. And you kind of got to fill it out for yourself, like what suits you, what fits you best. And but those guys, if I could pick anybody, I would love, especially Eric, to play with me. Well, and me and Eric have actually been talking about starting something.
Yeah, I would like to see you go out and perform full band. I think it'd be interesting because, like I said, I've only heard you acoustically. So I would be interested to see how that comes out full band. I think it would be especially with the Runaway Heartbreak song you play. I think that would come out really nice.
I actually played it with the Rivera Boys, the Rivera Brothers Band, RBB, whatever you want. I don't really know exactly the full name. It's really bad because I'm friends with them.
Well, do you know their names?
Yeah. So, yeah. I know their names. Well, they know mine.
Plug all these guys that you've jammed with. So maybe we can get them on the podcast and talk about some stuff.
You know, and what's hard about it is, you know people, like you can know somebody and you're like, I want them, but they could be doing 2 bands at once and trying to juggle a family at the same time and a job, hold down a full-time job. And I know that, when you want to do this, you got to be able to sacrifice like your playtime and your money, which God knows I'm not good at all. But I actually played Runaway Heartbreak with the Rivera Brothers Band. And it came out like sounding amazing. And people are always like, what do you want your music to sound like? Or how do you want it to sound? I'm like, just kind of do your thing. And if I like it, great. And if I don't, I'll tell you, not so much.
It's a progression when you're writing a song, especially it's not so much when it's just you. Because you kind of got the the riffs and what you're gonna play. Yeah. But when it comes to the band, it's really hard to imagine it, and then when you hear a version of it.
Yes.
For example, like Stormy Lee and his Whiskey Drinking World song, he plays it by himself, so I hear it by himself.
Right.
And then when I hear Justin Bravo play it, it's got a totally different feel to it. It's the same lyrics, but it's got a totally different feel. Now I've heard 2 different versions actually 3 different versions. Justin's played it 2 different ways. And with 2 different drummers, and just that made a difference in just how it sounded. But they're all 3 versions are very good versions of it. I guess it's like what your musical taste is, or I guess whoever is backing you up, is playing whatever instruments. But it's like I understand what you're saying about being wary about, and not only that, but dealing with the different personalities of members of a band. Like you were talking about. Oh, I'm a walking iPod. I can play it backwards, frontwards, and sideways, and then they get in, and it's like.
And it's not like that at all. And you're
and
like,
that's not to down anybody's musical abilities.
No.
But there are limitations, especially when it comes to you're playing in a band.
Just be honest about your limitations. Don't try to make yourself that you are some sort of, musical guru if you aren't. That's what I would ask for. If I wanted anybody to play with me, just be upfront and be like, look, I don't know if I can do that, but maybe I can work myself up to it. Okay, well, great. Well, let me see what you have, and we can all work at this together. Because not only am I growing, but you're growing too. And when there's more people together doing for one song, then it comes to that point where it's like you can make that song and turn it, my Do You song that I played at the intro of this, I've heard that with a band, and then I hear it by myself, and I'm like, crap, like I wish I had my band or those guys all the time. They're not my band. I wish they were. They're good. But I wish I had them all the time because I hear the riffs and everything as I'm playing, because I've gotten a taste of what it sounds like with a band. And of course, I would love for all of the ones that I know that are really good to play with me. I think Charles of the Mistress Danger Band, he is amazing. And
you can't steal them.
I know. I know. But it's just, you know, you hear these people and you see these people, and then you hear them live, you know, with their, you know, whether they're just a lead guitarist or the singer, and you hear them all together, and it makes a world of a difference to the music and the performer themselves.
I gotta tell you this: when I hear the two of you do harmonies together for certain songs,
me and Ashley,
yeah, it's like holy crap, where the heck did this come from?
Yeah.
Let's do that today. That'd be fun.
And I'm just like, okay, that needs to be that right there needs to have, you know, a band right there. Just you know, that's what me and Charles have actually talked about.
Magnolias, woo.
Me and Charles have sat down when you guys were playing and singing together, and we're like, okay, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like we got to try to push that, but that's really up to you guys. You guys can hash that out, but on your own time, not on the podcast.
We tried to do that though. It just our schedules are just odd. Like we get to see each other when we see each other, and that's
there for a while. I mean, you know what Ashley's saying. If you can't hear on the podcast, is me and Ashley have come together, and we were actually talking about, you know, putting this more of a girl group, really, vocally together, because there's something about when women get together and we sing, it is like a powerhouse of music. It is just, it's strong and it's amazing. And yeah, go ahead, girl. And you know, it was in the works. And then there's just been a lot of setbacks, you know, not just, I would say financially would be one of them, because, you know, I live in Lampasas and y'all are all the way over here in Harker Heights. I think y'all are in Harker Heights city limits, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, just being able to do that. And right now, you know, I'm in classes at night. And, you know, at the time when I was over here all the time, around my birthday, I was on medical leave, and so I had a lot of time to just be coming over here, but then I got really broke. And
funny story about your birthday, by the way. We're not gonna put that on the podcast.
No, go ahead. I have no shame.
Okay.
It was my 21st.
Okay.
Come on.
She just turned 21, and you know, we're having a good time drinking at the bar. And it was on a Wednesday on an open mic night. Is that correct?
It was on a Wednesday on an open mic
night.
night.
All Bottoms Up, hosted by Justin Bravo, his weekly open mics, and she showed up. And these pictures are actually on Facebook, I believe. And
I was looking so good that night.
I don't remember if you played a couple songs. Did you?
I did.
You did? Okay.
I did play. I was not that drunk when I played. I was feeling pretty good. And I'm so thankful for Brandon driving my car home.
Yeah, she got kind of tore
Sorry,
down,
Mom and
and
Dad.
she fell asleep in the bar.
Yeah. I didn't drink and drive. That's a good thing.
Yeah, we took care of her. We made sure. And then I believe we got Jack in the Box that night.
Yeah, we did, because I totally scarfed down a burger.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it was so funny.
It
was so funny. It was like you were like up and moving around, and all of a sudden, like we turned around and you're like gone. You're like there, but you're gone. Like
my head was on the table.
The presence of Megan was there, but then just went doop, disappeared. It's like, I'm done. And she didn't even say bye. She didn't even say good night. She just was like, done. I'm out.
Yeah, I don't even remember what kind of caused it. Probably too much drinking.
I think it was some of the shots.
Oh yes, Patron. It is. If I could choose a shot to have any night and every night, it'd be Patron. You know, and what's funny is, when it comes to strong liquors or whiskeys, I can't really do it. But for some reason, I can take a shot of Patron like a champ.
Yeah, and not to mention all the beers, huh?
Oh, yeah.
And I think we bought you a couple. I think we are enablers, ladies and gentlemen. We like to contribute to people's alcohol content. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a good night. I do remember coming back and doing some drunk water aerobics in y'all's pool.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Is that because
and did some drunk texting. Sorry,
who,
Charles.
Who was here? Who was here that night? I think Brandon.
Well, no.
Just Brandon.
Just Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, me, you, Ashley, and my bathing suit. That's about it.
I think I was inside getting Jack in the Crack, so.
Yep. Mm-hmm. You had just pulled up, and I got out. Actually, it was like, food's here, and I was like, all right, I'm done swimming. I want some food.
Alrighty, so now we talked about some embarrassing moments. And,
I have a lot more.
What's funny about that though is Rich is like walks up to her and she's like passed out. He's like, "Can you wake her up? We're about to close." I was like, She's fine. Get her home." No, you really need to wake her up. Like I need to physically see if she's alive.
Yeah. You know, it was funny because, you know, everything was going good, and I sat down and I was just like, I'm really tired. I think I'm going to go take a nap now.
It was in your mind. You're like.
It was in my mind, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It seems like a good idea for me to go ahead and just lay my head down right here.
Yeah. This is pretty sturdy. Yeah.
I'd be lying to say that I've never thought about sleeping at the bar. You know, at least taking a quick power nap. You know,
Yeah.
waking up and then hitting it again. But
Yeah. Yep.
We're all gonna start sleeping in bars now.
Yeah.
yeah, just don't get caught.
Yeah. Just,
Have a group of people around you that can hide you, at least for a little power nap.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I'm glad that it was more toward the end of my birthday anyway. They were about to close, and I don't even know how long I was kind of out, like 15 minutes? And you know, and they were already going to start closing down anyway. There wasn't a whole lot of people there that I remember, because it was toward the end of the night. So, I mean, you know, y'all were all really good friends,
Okay,
and woke me up and helped me to my car.
In some aspects of life, the 15 minutes of inebriation can be a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
or it could go like that, like light speed is gone. So
yeah, it's like, crap, I feel like I just went to sleep.
yeah,
like
you felt like it was a minute in your time, and it was like. It felt like an hour my time.
Yeah, no, I remember talking to Brandon on the way, because he, drove my car or whatever, and I remember talking to Brandon. I was like, I don't know if you should drive, because my dad, growing up.
Brandon drinks Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, I
That's
didn't know
his drink
that.
of choice.
Well,
Good for him.
more power to him. I love Dr. Pepper, but I love me some beer too. But I remember, because growing up, my dad's always been like, don't let anybody drive your car. And when I was younger, I kind of got into some trouble. And my dad's like, you don't need to have anybody driving your car. They're not on our insurance. And if something were to happen, like whatever. I'm like, all right, Dad, all right. So like this whole time I'm drunk and I'm talking to Brandon. I'm like, Brandon, I don't know if you should drive. Like, have you been drinking at all? Like, you're not on my parents' insurance. Like, that's literally how I was talking.
So you basically did like a 40-year-old virgin, type conversation in the car while someone else was driving.
Yeah. I was like, I just want some food. And I want to just take my shoes off, because I was wearing some really sexy heels that night. I just want to throw that out there. Really sexy, high, sparkly, like stiletto type shoes.
We all know.
Oh, man, I was looking so
I think
good.
I had an embarrassing moment that night, too. I think I tried to do a spin or something like that, and I kicked the bar stool over. Was that the same night?
Yes, it was. I remember. It fell over, yeah. And I was like, And I haven't
Ladies
been
and
here,
gentlemen,
but
I'm a dumb bitch. I'm a dumbass.
He gets so drunk that he starts yelling at girls when they dance in the bar. Get your nasty gangrene having feet off the damn bar.
It's fungus having feet.
Oh, yeah.
I talk a lot of shit when I'm drunk, but not shit in a way that
I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people do. I do.
I talk funny shit. I don't talk shit.
I do, too.
Like to get in a fight with someone.
Oh, yeah.
I had confrontations in that 15-minute state of inebriation that lasts forever. And I ended up throwing a beer bottle at someone's vehicle one time.
Ooh.
That was a few years ago, though.
Well, then that's all right.
So,
No, yeah, I definitely, I'm a natural blonde. My hair is dark with some highlights right now because I'm going back to my blonde roots.
makes you
literally,
a liar.
literally. But I definitely have my blonde, like, I'm very funny. I'm like me, but 10 times better.
Oh, I know you're funny. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to go on YouTube to our music page at CT Music Experience and check out Ashley's birthday bash, and you'll get to see what I'm talking about. We were videotaping the whole time, and she forgot the camera was there. I don't even think that she forgot. I think someone forgot to tell her. I think that was my fault. And
yeah, I really did. Because, you think camera, you think this big old spotlight, TV type camera, or at least like one of those on a tripod.
What the hell you think this is? This ain't broadcast television.
It's getting there.
We're ghetto as hell. So If we had the money, we would do it like that. But I mean, what you see is what you get.
Right, dude. Hey, I'm all for it. I grew up on the east side of the ghetto. What up?
Yeah.
Represent. Actually, it was the west side.
Silly.
Yeah, west side.
Silly bitch.
But no, I'm definitely. I get just funny, goofy. I'll say some of the most random, like blonde stuff. I'm like, oh my god, like he totally said that like 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
We have totally veered, and this is supposed to be a music. God damn it! It's supposed to be a music podcast. We're supposed to be serious about the music, and we're talking about drunken nights and bad 15 minutes.
What are you talking about? That is part of music. What do you think most
decisions.
musicians do on a Friday night?
I would like to think in my head. I would like to think in the positive side of my head that they're thinking about ways to perform better.
Okay, you know
I
what?
know that's a lie.
Yeah, it is, and I'll tell you why.
Because I'm doing shots
because
with those guys.
A lot of those still have full-time jobs like me, and so on Friday night you just want to relax. Well, unless you have class. I have class on Friday nights now, so I don't really get to drink until I get home.
Since we're talking about playing in places, do you have anything that's coming up in the next maybe a week or so that you possibly might be playing at? I know that you're pretty busy right now. Anything like an open mic where they can catch you or anything like that?
Well, normally on Sunday nights I'm down at Joker's Ice House in Colleen to do an open mic night over there.
Are you
hosted,
going
hosted
there?
by
Are
Mile
you going
in
there
English.
tonight?
You know what? I don't know. Thought about it. I might not. I haven't. We're doing this. Whatever happens.
Okay, we're not making any plans.
I'm down.
Well, just so that you guys know, Mylan English of 7 Years Today hosts a open mic at Joker's Ice House every Sunday, and another open mic you can catch is on Monday at the Shadow Lounge, hosted by Ashley Plumley of the Mr. Starringer Band, and Wednesday nights, Tuesday nights, Mylan has another open mic at O'Brien's.
Yes.
And a lot of people go out there.
Yeah, I see. I didn't really know that. And with me being so far away, it's really hard on me, especially because I work during the week, and I'm already have the worst time trying to get up on time for work anyway. I normally, now that I'm back at work, I try not to go out during the week, but sometimes you just can't help it, and you just want to go. I do, however, speaking of O'Brien's, I was contacted by the, I guess he just kind of does the music.
Booking guy.
He actually contacted me, wanting me to do an opener for a band, which he said he hasn't really actually had the band yet, but I guess he was going to talk to the Mr. Starringer Band. I don't know if he's actually talked to you yet, but I'm already booked for October 3rd for $3 Thursdays, at O'Brien's from 9 to 10:30.
So friends and or family and other people, get your asses up out of your house on Thursday nights. Yeah. And knowing you ain't got shit to do on Friday.
And if you do, it's okay. It's a Friday. It'll go by fast.
Yeah, so it's $3. Well, I'm not going to plug a place that is not even talking to me about something to do. So get your asses out to O'Brien's. Fuck that other place until... I'm sorry, other place. But anyway, I don't care. It's all good. And the reason why I say that is because the person that I'm trying to get to contact me is one of the people that boss hogs.
Yeah.
The playing time that's available at this certain venue, and I think it's BS. So
yeah.
So I mean, good for you that you can get these places, but you need to don't burn bridges.
Right.
Because that's what you're doing, buddy. You're burning bridges on your way out. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. But I
don't give a shit.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't care. What he's going to do, get on Facebook and say some bad shit about me? He probably doesn't even know I'm talking about him. Good for him.
Well, yeah, so O'Brien's, $3 Thursdays, I'll be there October 3rd from 9 to 10:30. So yeah, O'Brien's, it's become a really good place that I was introduced to again by Mr. Starringer Band. During my birthday weekend, actually, it was a long week for me. because my birthday fell in the middle of the week. So, you know, we went to All Bottoms Up on that Wednesday night for my birthday after I got out of class.
Justin Bravo, thank you for hosting Open Mics every Wednesday.
Yes. Get a little clap for him. And then we turned around and went to O'Brien's Thursday because Mr. Starringer Band was playing. And, you know, there was only a handful of times that I've actually seen them full band.
You know who we need to hook you up with?
Tell me.
Stormy Lee. Again.
Yes.
Do a song swap.
He actually confronted me afterwards, the night of Ashley's birthday bash, about getting together and doing some musical stuff. And he needs to contact me. We are not friends on Facebook, but he was wanting to see if I had anything on Facebook and or what else I had up.
Stormy, you heard it. Don't make me have to contact you myself.
Well, we're friends on Facebook now, so he can totally contact me if he wants to.
Alrighty. And, well, do you want to go ahead and... Well, okay, let me ask you one more question, and you can play another song for us, if you don't mind.
No, don't mind.
Out of all these venues that you played at, bars, whatnot, what do you think is your favorite place?
Oh, goodness. You know... That's so hard to say because there's people from all the different places that I play at that like my stuff, that want to hear me more. You know, they're really nice people for the most part, and they want to see me succeed. So, I mean, and not saying that they want to have a part in that, but they want, you know, they want to be there, you know, when that artist, you know, just up and blows. But I really feel like right now, Joker's has become a really good place to play at. Now, Shadow Lounge has always been very opening since coming in and being able to do some open mic nights there. I think Shadow Lounge, they were very generous and kind of open arms. All Bottoms Up, same thing. I know that one of the bartenders, she loves it when I come in, and I remember when I came in on my birthday, I think is when it was. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're here."
Big shout out to the bartender over there at Krista over there at All Bottoms Up. She's awesome. Every time I come in, hey, you need two Lone Stars? Like,
yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, and you know,
awesome.
but so far, I mean, right now, the best place that I think I get, you know, just an eclectic group of people, different backgrounds, different types of people, all different areas of Killeen, would definitely be Joker's. I definitely get a good...
You're the second person who said that.
Huh?
The second person who said that.
Really?
Justin Bravo was the first one.
Oh, wow.
That's where he started out.
Yeah.
That's where he started at.
Well, and I can understand that, you know, and for me, just coming in, I think, you know, I didn't start out there, but I think just with people being so open and really liking my stuff and taking a liking to my music, I mean, definitely it's become more of one of my favorite places to play because I know that whatever I play, they're going to like. So I can't really go wrong.
Alrighty. What are you going to play for us next?
Oh, I guess I'll go ahead and do my Too Damn Broke song.
Alrighty. You hear that? She's broke. So tip her at the open mics. God damn it.
Yeah. Actually, like I said earlier, this song actually came about because I asked my dad to give me some money for a little trip that my friend kind of last minute invited me on. And it was to South Padre with her and her family. And my dad wouldn't give me any money. So I just went to my room and I just started writing. And this just came about literally 15 minutes.
Started writing and pouting.
Exactly. I was like, okay, so now can I have money? And he was like, no, great song, but you still can't have any money. I was like, cool, thanks, Dad. I'm so tired of being broke, relying on my parents is a joke. I'm always asking for money. I know they're sick and tired of me 'cause I'm too damn broke. Well, I guess I'll just go out one last time, and I'll spend every last dime, and I'll hate myself tomorrow 'cause I don't know how I'm getting home 'cause I'm too damn broke. I wanna have fun, sit down and soak up the sun. I wanna put my toes in the sand with a cold beer chilling in my hand, but I can't, 'cause I'm too damn broke. Well, I got my new paycheck for the week. $150 ain't much to me. And I could use more cigarettes and a case of beer to fill up my ice chest, but that'll leave me too damn broke. I wanna have fun, sit down and soak up the sun. I wanna put my toes in the sand with a cold beer chilling in my hand, but I can't, 'cause I'm too damn broke. I wanna put my toes in the sand with a cold beer chilling in my hand, but I can't, 'cause I'm too damn broke. Oh, I can't, 'cause I'm too damn broke. Oh, I can't, 'cause I'm too damn broke.
Yeah, love that song. Too damn broke. Who isn't too damn broke?
For real, man. It's like a story of my life right now.
That's the story of everybody's life. It's like the story of everyone's life right now.
Right.
Damn recession.
It's not even that. I'm just overworked and underpaid, man.
Who isn't overworked paid?
That's true. Well, I know a lot of people who don't do nothing and they get paid like bukus of money.
Okay.
I'm like, what the heck do y'all do?
I'm guilty. Sorry. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I get some money. No, I'm joking. Wow, that sound like a douche right there. That's first grade A douchery.
Nah, it's all good.
Sorry, Joe Rogan. I'm stealing some words because I like him.
He's funny.
Negative. There's no trademark. Okay. So let's get back to some music business. We can goofing off this podcast.
You know, it's hard not to because you get, for me, I just forget that I don't forget, I don't guess, but I'm with you guys. Like, I'm friends with y'all. It's I don't know, it's different.
Let me be prim and proper and, just sit up straight and talk on the mic. But
sorry about you, but that's not me. I'm not a prim and proper lady.
I think that's most ladies in music. They're not prim and proper at all. Not
anymore. There's e-cards. I love them on Facebook. I found one that said, gone are the days where girls cook like their mamas. Now they drink like their daddies. And it's so true.
Well, you got some girls that can cook like their mamas.
Well, sorry, Mom.
That's not the case.
I did not get my cooking from you.
In my neck of the woods, because the cooking here is like 100 times better than her mama's. Sorry, Mom. We were talking about before we went to the musical break.
Right.
We're talking about favorite venues. Joker's Ice House being one of your favorites.
Yes.
What would be like the starting point when you decided, okay, I want to start learning how to play the guitar, or I wanted to start writing or singing? What was the kind of like the turning point where you just decided I want to do this?
Well, I was a freshman in high school, and it's like it was my 8th grade year in high school, and I was going to church. I know, it's weird. Couldn't even tell. But I used to go to church at the First Assembly of God in Lampasas, which is now changed their name. They recently changed their name to Christ the Rock Church within the last, would say, like 4 years. And we would, every year they had this thing, called Fine Arts. And at the time I was in the, I wouldn't say choir, but the praise and worship band on Wednesday nights for the youth, and then I was also there on Sunday mornings for the grown-up church is what they called it. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
I still call it that because I still feel like I'm not that much of a grown-up. But I got involved into that, and I went and sang, and they passed me through to nationals. And I was like, whoa, like I really, I wasn't expecting to come out of this, going to nationals. And I'll tell you why. And that's because the female vocal solo category is so big. And the Central Texas, or I think we were more considered the North Texas district, is one of the biggest districts. And with it being the biggest district and being in the biggest category, I wasn't really, it was more of a for fun thing, like, being able to go and compete, fun time. And then I went to nationals. I was like, oh my goodness, And so I went the August. I want to say it was August before my freshman year, maybe. And I went and I sang, and it was awesome. And I did that my freshman, sophomore, or the end of my 8th grade, freshman and sophomore in June. I don't think I did it my junior year. I did it my junior year, but I didn't do it my senior year in high school. And it was a fun time, and it's all in for scholarship money to go to SAGU, which is the Southwestern Assemblies of God University in Waxahachie. Great school. I ended up not going there, though, and I ended up doing a lot of different soul searching and as to what I wanted to do. And growing up listening to country music, I was afraid to do Christian music, even though it's a part of my roots. And that's, I could go into that forever, but I didn't want to be looked at as a hypocrite, going to the bars and singing about, my ex who cheated on me and drinking beer and smoking cigarettes and then being on church Sunday morning and, trying to be a primitive Christian, but
guilty.
Well, hey, no one's perfect, but it was very hard for me to try to deal with that. And with SAGU being so expensive because it's a private Christian college, I knew that I wasn't going to be able to attend that school, no matter how well I did at fine arts. And so I actually quit doing that. But the main thing that has gotten to where that I noticed that this is really what I wanted to do, it was I want to say my freshman or sophomore year. We had a talent show at our school, and I think I ended up coming in first, if I remember correctly. And I sang and played the guitar, and my parents were like, my mom told me that her and my dad just kind of looked at each other like, oh my gosh, like, she can sing, because all these years, I sing a little bit here and there, but I never really fully did it. And then all throughout high school, it was a big thing. Like, I would do it, like, they would ask me to sing the national anthem for basketball games, softball, baseball games. And so it was a good time. And from there, that's where my roots were, I guess, was within the school system, within my church. That's where I started out at. And then branching out and people hearing me, at, Spring Ho, and then wanting me to do it again the next year for Spring Ho, which is a festival in La Paz, by the way. Or, all these little bitty weekend festivals like, the Rabbit Fest or the Urban Art Fest or certain things like that, Bluebonnet Fest, very, very fun, good time. And so that's when I kind of realized, I convinced myself for 4 years in high school that I was going to make it famous, like right after I graduated, and that didn't happen. And so then I got to do a lot of soul searching as far as, is this really something I want to do? Like, can I do it? Can I really take the heat? Can I deal with everything that comes along with it, the lack of privacy and people knowing who you are, what you do, if you mess up, are people going to look at you wrong, because we all make mistakes, is someone going to hold that against you? And so a lot of things have kind of made me more hesitant to try to put myself out there more, but at the same time, like, music is such a great influence in my life. life, and it's a great passion of mine that I don't see my life without it. So
music is like a therapy, you know, from what I understand. Like, you know, from what I gather from a lot of the musicians in the area, you know, trials and tribulations come with the territory. And I think that's with all walks of life, you know, when you're trying to do something that's out of the norm, especially something that's very soul oriented. I guess that's the best way to put it, because music is like it hits on different levels with people, you know, like spiritually, emotionally. So when you try to, so I guess what I want to say with that is, when you said you convinced yourself for 4 years that you're going to make it coming out, do you think that's when people, you know, that are just getting into the music business or trying to make it, you think that's maybe a hindrance of some kind, because they think they're trying to convince yourself like you did, and then they realize, maybe this is maybe not something I want to do, you know?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people are very, they just don't know. They don't realize. They're very, what's the word? Naive.
A lot of people see the end game. They don't see what it takes to get to that point. I mean, really, to me, there's no end game for music. Even if you're an established artist, if you go back to, you know, Elvis and Johnny Cash, these guys are legends, you know. You go to these big names from back in the day that have, you know, gone on and or have passed away or whatever. There's no, to me, it seems like there's no end game at all, because they just continue, you know, doing it, continue evolving as artists. And I think I might have just kind of confused myself right now with saying what I was saying.
No, I definitely understand what you're saying. There isn't an end to it, because you are having to constantly evolve as an artist and as a musician. But it's like, if you don't stay on your game, or if you don't continue putting anything out there, you're going to be one of those one-hit wonders, or one of those people that just kind of like, you know, people are like, whatever happened to them, you know? And, you know, the greatest thing about, you know, I guess country music especially, is that you constantly hear of these big names, and you know who they were, you know, or you know who they are, or who they were musically, and where they started out as. And a lot of people think that, you know, back then it was probably a lot easier. I mean, it was still pretty hard, but it was probably a lot easier because, you know, you didn't have all this technical stuff to get into. Like now, trying to become a well-known artist.
I agree with you. Like
golly,
there was not so much
work.
technology out there, and it made people more concentrate on the music aspect, and you only had certain people dealing with the promotional aspect of things. Yeah. And like you said, now it's difficult, but, you know, like, to me, I feel if you're in this business to make money, and that's your first thought, you're probably not going to succeed.
Right.
If you can't, for example, just coming on this podcast and you can't tell me that, you know, you do music for the love of music first. And I know that might be a line that you might feed somebody or feed me, you know, in an interview. But if you're saying that the end game or the ultimate goal was money, then I don't think that you're going to make it.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion, because you have to there has to be some kind of, like a goal within a goal within a goal, like as far as music, because you're not going to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Exactly. You're going to have to do, you know, go to those nights where nobody shows up. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to go play somewhere and nobody comes, or you're going to get to a place where, you know, you might play out of your hometown, or you might play out of your area, and they're just not going to like you. Yeah. You know, and that happens a lot.
Yeah, totally.
And it just depends on how you deal with that adversity and how you deal with those kind of things. So I guess my next question would be, what is your ultimate goal for your music. Do you have a goal for your music right now, or is it something that you might be putting on the back burner right now because you're doing other things?
You know, ultimately, you know, for my music aspect as an artist, I just want people to like my songs. I want my songs to be heard. You know, I want people to like them. I want my songs to be the songs that get stuck in people's heads, the ones that they're hearing on the radio. I think a lot of mine would have to be the whole money aspect, and which is why I kind of disagree with you a little bit. Because
money is part of it, obviously.
Money is part of it, and it takes a lot of money and a lot of heart.
But for me, if you don't prioritize and say, okay, because some people, sometimes when you make it is when you think you're not going to make it, and some people who think they're going to make it are
Never
people
make it.
who don't make it. That's what I mean by that. If your first priority is not, okay, I just want to be heard, then the fame will come. You know, it just depends on how you evolve as an artist and how you decide to take your career. There's missteps, and there's right steps and there's wrong steps in a musical career. And I think for the most part, from what I've seen, you know, you play a show somewhere and people think you suck, you know, and sometimes that's debilitating to a person, and it can affect their confidence as a musician.
Oh, definitely.
When where in one town people think that you're great, and that affects your confidence too, because then you maybe become big-headed.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to play this balancing game as an artist, where you're like, okay, I got to deal with the criticism and the fame, or you know, people liking me, and then, you know, money will come.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you focus more on the art, that's just my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if people share their opinion. If you don't like my opinion, you can comment on this, on my opinions on Facebook and on YouTube and all those different avenues that we have available to us. But, you know, I think that, you know, like I said, there's got to be some kind of balance, just like with life. You can't just can't just drink all the damn time. If you drink beer every single day,
you will die.
From sun up to sundown when you go to sleep. Yeah, eventually your liver's gonna crash and you're gonna fucking die. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
There's repercussions to actions. So it's like you gotta have to treat your music career like it's a being, like it's a organism.
Yeah.
And like it's organic, and you have to take care of it in a certain way where you're like, okay, I need to do this. I don't need to do this, or I need to do a little bit more of this and a little bit less than that. You know, there's a balance. I think.
Well, with me, I think that, and I've talked a little bit off camera and off mic about this to individuals about, you know, my music career and the path that I feel like it's supposed to take. But I think that's what's become more makes me kind of like press the brakes as far as my music career, because there's a lot of things and a lot of stuff that I do or say and even write about. You know, I can't help but sometimes these things come out. You know, I feel like a lot of people can relate to them, but at the same time, I feel like I sing about them because of the area I'm in. Like I'm supposed to. Like it's not really what I want to sing about, but more what I'm supposed to for Texas music to really be.
Sing whatever you want to sing.
I mean, you know, I tried to.
So are we talking about? I don't mean to get too personal.
No, go ahead.
If this is too personal, you can stop me.
No.
Are we talking about dipping into Christian music? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yes, actually it is.
So what's wrong with doing that? Do you feel like there's something wrong with that?
You know, there's nothing wrong with doing it. I love Christian music. I grew up on Christian music.
I did too.
But one aspect, and this is where, you know, my opinion about myself and my music, you know, to other people's, it differentiates. And I wouldn't say be more argumentative, but every person is different. I grew up in church, so yes, I believe there's a God. Yes, I believe that, you know, Satan is real. I believe there's heaven. I believe there's a hell. I believe that we were, you know, supposed to come on this earth and tell the greatest love story that was ever written. And I have a hard time really committing to that. And not because, not because of the story itself, because the story is a great story and I know the story. It's the fact that I'm not strong enough in myself to not go out to the bar and drink and smoke and then talk about, getting drunk on Saturday nights and maybe smoking a doobie every once in a while, or, just having those it is what it is moments, if you know what I'm talking about.
So do you feel like the nature of how the business is now is what's causing that conflict as to whether you want to pursue this venue as opposed to this venue?
I would say so, because I know that now I'm not saying that, I could get into a big religious talk. I don't like to debate about religion. I don't like to debate about it. I like to talk about it. But just for me in general, personally, to go out to a bar, I know that Jesus didn't just, hang out with all the church people or all the people that believed in him. He went out and he hung out with the sinners. He was out there to reach out to those who were sinning and who didn't know him, hookers, prostitutes. He was with those people. Those people are the people who saw his miracle signs and wonders.
Yeah, but they also heard what he said.
Yeah.
So let me say this, and you think about it. You let him.
Okay, I'll let it marinate in my mind.
In your head. You may sing country music, right? That's what you sing. That's a persona. But what do you do in private life? Well, what is your private life like? That's what you have to. That me personally, when people are not looking, is the aspect of your life that you have to worry about. What are you doing when people are not looking?
Well, see, and that's the thing, though. It's like it's almost become hard to differentiate because I'm the same through and through.
So are you saying you got so? And you think of music and the music aspect is a big part of that?
I wouldn't say it's a big part of the reason why my life is. I would say it's a big part of my life is the big part of the reason how my music is. And when I start to change my life, my music will also start to change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it's not my music that I write about.
Because the music is a reflection of what you ultimately are going through for the most part.
Right. And it's not, and then I sing about it, of course, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I agree with you. Like, let's get drunk tonight, let's go smoke a doobie. It is what it is, whatever. I love that song. But it's more of, I get that response, and it's like, okay, well, they like this music, and I want to be liked by this group. But at the same time, it's like, ultimately, are they going to help me or hurt me? Because, like, if I'm constantly in the bar scene.
Or what's the cost of that type of that fame?
And I think that I would have a whole lot more harder time trying to live like I know I'm supposed to in this scene of music.
Well, I'm never going to be one to judge. I'm never going to be one to judge you.
Well, right. But we've also spoken one-on-one as far as
we're just talking about what we like to get real on the podcast sometimes.
Yeah.
I think it's the first, podcast that we've actually gotten really real.
Yeah.
We've talked about, music and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
And, for me, it doesn't bother me. I feel like the more people that understand my viewpoint, the more they might understand why I haven't progressed as an artist, or why I haven't really pushed myself as an artist. And
well, I'm pretty sure you have people out there that are going to listen to this that probably have felt the same way that you have felt.
Totally.
You can't live life, without conflict and without triumph. There's just, it's just how do you deal with that particular conflict in your life at that time?
And that, especially like, because, my Too Damn Broke song, it says damn in it. Okay, well, damn, whatever. But, it talks about.
It says damn in the Bible, too.
I know. And it, but I'm not saying that, that song is a reflection of the way I think of summers growing up in a small town and, let's, having a case of beer, having that cigarette, but you're just so broke and you live in this small town, and the type of jobs that you are even able to get, is like those fast food restaurants.
Well,
at the time that I wrote the song, I was actually working at Bush's Chicken.
I'm going to quote Justin Bravo from our last podcast when he said that that music is, 3 chords in the truth or 4 chords in a lie. So to me personally, I feel there's nothing wrong about writing something that is A, relatable to the audience, and B, is a reflection of yourself at that particular time. You cannot tell me one person, one musician. Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. There's this one artist, maybe, I don't know if a lot of people know who he is. His name is Todd Agnew. You know who that is?
Yeah.
He wrote this one song, it's called My Jesus, and it talks about how these other religions or other denominations of the Christian faith believe that Jesus was a certain way. And he basically takes a dump on him and and uses the word slut in a Christian song.
Yeah.
So, and that's his view at that time. I mean, I don't know how his view is now, but he wrote the song as, as a reflection of what his thoughts were about that particular subject. So I don't see anything wrong about writing about something that you can relate to and other people can relate to, because at the end of the day, music is about therapy and about the soul, and you're offering some form of healing. Either people want to forget the bad times or remember the good times, or they want to move on from a certain place. And maybe, do you ever think that maybe your music is helping them do that? You see what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but and maybe I'm just too hard on myself, but I feel like I don't want these songs, some songs in particular that I've written, to be the anthem of their life and the cornerstone that they want to, that they are the reason why they love to go out and party.
I'm sorry, but if you live your life off of one song, then you're very narrow-minded. You have to, as a person, there's so many facilities where you can broaden your insights and your horizon, whether it's music, books, documentaries, getting on the internet, or just being a person and going out and talking to other people. There's more avenues to enlighten oneself than just being attached to certain things. Attachments in this world now is so few and far between that you got to take from everything. You know what I'm saying?
And I do understand what you're saying, but at the same time, like, there are definitely songs that I've written that they're not glorifying, my God at all. And I don't want to glorify the life that I have led in the past, because at the same time, even to this day, I'm not saying I've changed as a person. I know what I believe in my heart, and ultimately it is my heart, and the relationship that I have with Jesus is between me and Jesus. But what I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to be doing and showing as a Christian, is that reflecting through my music? Well, if it's not, it's reflecting what's from within, because they say, what's in your heart will come out.
Well, just so we have a clear understanding, just so we have a clear understanding, I'm in no way trying to convince her to do something that she's not wanting to do. I'm just trying to add a different perspective to the nature of this, because everybody, every musician, and I think not just a musician, but everybody has a conflict within their soul. I've gone through it. I know Ashley's gone through it. I can pretty much pick anybody on the planet that has gone through a conflict about certain aspects of their life that they may want to change. So we're just trying to add insight to maybe can help a listener, or a viewer, and maybe you go back and it can help you too, or help me. Who knows?
I'm open for anything, but I just know that, like, right now my music isn't where it's supposed to be. And as much as I've written about, it's really funny that we're talking about this, because the new song that I have recently written is kind of talking about the struggle between the good and evil, I guess you could say, spiritually. And it all stems from, I grew up in a Christian household, but it was kind of a split household. My mom went to church, my dad didn't. My mom listened to country music, and but she also listened to her Christian music. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we were listening to Christian music. And my dad, we were listening to you know, that Steppenwolf fog hat, you know, the old country music and country influences that I have, you know, today, as well as, you know, he, you know, not to bash my dad, but he would mute the TV and put it on a Christian network, and, you know, they'd be preaching and he'd turn on the radio and turn it to country music. And it was funny because sometimes when they were preaching, it looked like they were preaching the country song, and it was funny. I can't help it. Kind of sacrilegious, but I can't help it. But, you know, it's almost like the struggle, you know, because I grew up tasting both worlds, and it's coming to know, like, which way am I going to follow? And because I'm more of a daddy's girl, and I've become more, like, I would rather, sorry, Mom and Dad, I would rather have my dad's approval on most things when it comes to my life than my mom's, because I feel like self-approval? Well, I don't know. Maybe I can't distinguish between the two. And maybe that's my downfall, is that I'm so much into trying to please my dad and make him proud and get his approval on things that maybe I veer off from what I feel is right and what I feel should be set for me. But I do have to say that I think a lot of the reason why me and my dad don't get along now is because
you've become like him.
Well, not,
or you think like him.
I do, but I've also have my own voice now. I don't just follow what my dad says, or I don't just agree with my dad. You know, my dad grew up, you know, in a way, I mean, his dad was very strict and didn't really show affection a lot. And, you know, my grandmother, she was, oh my gosh, I love my grandma. I love my grandpa too. But he was one of those, you know, like, I'd go and get a piece of candy. He's like, how many of those have you had? And I'm like, 3. You're going to get fat. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Love you too, Papa. You know. And my grandmother was like, oh, Willie, stop it. You know, well, leave her alone.
We've really kind of gone in depth with the struggles and experiences of your career and your personal life. So.
And I like it. I, you know, to me, it doesn't bother me. I think people need to understand where I come from and the reason why I think of certain things the way I do, and the reason why I do certain things that I do. It's not because, you know, me and God have our own relationship, and I've gone through my own struggles, and I've, you know, picked up bad habits as well as, you know, made better ones. But all in all, I mean, if people can understand just a glimmer of why I do what I do, why I believe what I believe, or half the things that I've written about, then maybe they'll come to understand, like, why I struggle so much, or maybe they'll understand that the struggle is real, and it's not just something I just
You may not want people to understand. You may want people to respect it instead of trying to push you one way or the other.
Yeah, maybe it's more of a respect thing.
Because if someone understands, for example, me, if I say I understand exactly what you're saying, then I might try to push you in a way that how I came up with my own. Because you cannot call yourself a human being without, on a day-to-day, struggle with certain issues, you know, whether it be personal, relationship-wise, you know, whatever the case may be. So,
and I completely agree with you. Maybe it isn't more of an understanding, but some of those who don't understand, some of those who maybe didn't grow up in church, maybe it will help them to understand, well, maybe that's why I am the way I am sometimes. You know, there's a lot of things that I just can't, there's some things I can't bring myself to listen to musically, not because I haven't tried it, because I've tried to listen to it, but to me it's not uplifting at all. And I want something that's more uplifting, not something that's going to bring you down. But at the same time, I write stuff that kind of is more of a downer, like my Ferris song. It's kind of a downer, but I wrote it during a time that I was in a tumultuous relationship, and it went south, and, you know, I kind of went off the deep end, I feel like, but, you know, I'm a girl too, so.
Well, I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, if you don't mind, and we're going to keep running this thing.
Go ahead,
It's just going to
man.
take like a couple seconds, if you excuse me.
I'll just go ahead and play a song, man.
Well, talk about something. I want to roll you into, and then we'll promote your Reverb Nation page. Just give me a second. And I got a couple more questions I want to ask, too. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Talk about whatever you want.
Just talk to myself?
Yeah, talk to yourself.
Talk to myself, all right.
Talk about something.
I'm just gonna play a song because I feel like I can't really talk to well, that's a lie. I talk to myself all the time.
Just give me a minute and I'll run you in.
Alright. I'm just gonna go ahead and play a song for everybody. I do talk to myself, but it's probably not the best thing for me. So, this is a song that I wrote. It's called Ferris Wheel. It was actually written during a time in my life that I was in a very tumultuous relationship, like I just said. And it was kind of like the struggles, that every relationship goes through. Maybe you like somebody and, but it's just bad. It's all around bad, and you just can't help but want to go back to it. You keep playing these games, we're spinning around and around, like we're riding a Ferris wheel at the carnival here in town. We went up, but you knocked me down. I fell hard when I hit the ground. What goes around comes back around. And I don't think I'll ever heal on this Ferris wheel. Oh, your tokens are gone. No more tickets at hand. The rides are being shut down. But we'll ride again. And we went up, but you knocked me down. I fell hard when I hit the ground. What goes around comes back around. And I don't think I'll ever heal on this Ferris wheel. We went up, but you knocked me down. I fell hard when I hit the ground. What goes around comes back around. And I don't think I'll ever heal. We went up, but you knocked me down. I fell hard when I hit the ground. What goes around comes back around. And I don't think I'll ever heal on this Ferris wheel. On this Ferris wheel.
Oh, that was nice.
Thanks, man.
I'm back from my potty break, by the way. I know nobody heard me coming in because she was playing. And that was Ferris Wheel, right?
Yes, Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get all your songs on there so that way I know what to put on the video when I edit this video. And for those of you guys who don't know, who are just brand new fans to the Central Texas Music Experience, we have several channels that you can go through to take a look at our podcasts. You go to facebook.com/Central Texas Music Experience. We got Central Texas Music Experience.podbean.com, and also we're available on iTunes as well. And definitely on YouTube is CT Music Experience. You'll be able to catch this video here probably in the next couple days. I think Wednesday. I try to give all the artists at least a week to try to get some hits, and then they can use this video, because that's basically what we're trying to do, is just trying to give the local artists an opportunity to promote their music and get a chance to talk about some personal stuff like we just talked about a few minutes ago. So
Right.
I really appreciate you opening up and kind of giving me your perspective on where you feel like your life and your musical career is at.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, definitely. Like I said, I mean, as far as my music goes, like, it's the only thing that kind of, it is like a mini-me. If I could put it in person, my music would be a mini-me. Because I feel that, oh my gosh, sorry, my mom. I was checking my Facebook because I posted that I was going to be on this, Central Texas Music Experience podcast. And my mom, she was like, will it be streaming live? No. Sorry.
Negative. We're not that cool yet.
We're not that cool yet. But no, I mean, my music is definitely like a mini-me. Not just what I've gone through and what I've overcome, but what I'm still going through and the things that I want to move toward, and which is, religion is a very big part of my life. So I'm kind of glad we touched up on that and kind of got into that. I might not be the best Christian role model, but at the same time, I would hope that as a Christian who struggles, I can show other people that it's okay to struggle. Don't abuse the grace of God by all means, but definitely it's okay to struggle. I mean, don't beat yourself up if you're not perfect, because no one is,
Like we were talking about earlier, I think struggle is a big part of this existence as a human being, and it's all really on how you deal with it.
Yeah.
So to get to a not so deep topic, I got a couple more questions for you.
All right.
And then if you don't mind closing out with another song.
Sure.
You're going to be the first person who's actually going to play 4 songs on this podcast.
That's crazy.
And I think your run time, I think you're going to beat the record holder, which is Justin from last week.
Yes.
And but he was a great guest, and all of my guests have been very gracious in allowing me to have them come out here and pick their brains about their musical careers and some personal stuff. So I really appreciate everybody's support and love, and of course we have some of these guys out again, and hopefully with some new material. And some
I think the reason why mine's the longest running time is because you said this is the 5th episode?
5th episode, and you're the first female.
That's it. That's why. Females love to talk. And so I could talk for hours. I can't talk by myself, but I could talk for hours. I can talk to myself. I would prefer not to do it on camera or with Mike.
Don't talk to yourself here, because someone will comment, and it'll probably be me. So
it's okay.
I got a couple more questions for you, and then we'll close this thing out, if you don't mind. What is your favorite guitar to play on? Have you owned multiple guitars?
To tell you the truth, no.
Just that one?
Well, I have, but I haven't. Of course, I had when I was 8, I think I was 8, for my 8th birthday, my parents bought me a guitar. And, sorry, too much beer, I'm burping. They bought me a guitar, and I started going to guitar lessons, but I was young. I wasn't disciplined enough to sit down and learn, how to play the guitar, anything like that. Afterwards, I kind of put it off to the side, and then I started really picking it back up more toward the end of, my middle school years. 8th grade, 9th grade, and on through high school is when I really started picking it back up and teaching myself. I didn't go to any sort of music lessons. I was in choir, I think, my 7th grade year. And then after that, I wasn't in choir. I mean, I've had no vocal training, no guitar training. It's all kind of learned it by myself. And to me, singing is just been a gift that I was born with. Thankful for that. But as far as everything else, I kind of taught myself. So I would say like 8th, 9th grade is when I really started to pick it up. And then one year for Christmas, I got this guitar, which it's a Mitchell. Very nice guitar. I like it. And just recently, I want to say it's been like a year or two, maybe a year and a half, somewhere around there. My uncle gave me his guitar, and he told me, it was me, him, and my dad, and we went to lunch, and he told me, I have something for you. And I said, okay, well, what is it? He's like, well, I can't tell you just yet. I just want to make sure, you can only have it under one condition. I was like, all right, what is it? And he was like, you can never sell it, and you can never pawn it. I was like, all right, go ahead. What is it? Your truck? Of course, I would take it. Driving my rinky-dink, 94 Dodge Shadow. I mean, getting kind of old and wants to die. He was like, no, he was like, it's my guitar, my old guitar. And I was like, what? And he was like, it's a Martin. So I've heard a lot of great things about a Martin, but he got this when he was 18 years old, and he is, oh man, I couldn't even tell you what year he was born. He's older than my dad, and my dad is 53. So, not to throw you under the bus, Dad, but, so my uncle got it when he was 18, and he's had it ever since. And so it's really nice guitar. It gets out of tune kind of easy, but it has that chanky, I don't know how else to explain it, but chanky, old Texas, the older Texas, Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, that kind of twang of a sound to it. And I love the sound of it. Very, again, chanky. That's the only word I use for it. Chanky. Just very chanky.
I'm pretty sure somebody out there in the audience can kind of pinpoint what you're talking about. Twangy?
Twangy, chanky. I don't know how to explain it. It's not, it just sounds like an old Merle Haggard guitar. That's the best way I can describe it. Old and I love it.
Alrighty. Do you play any other instruments?
Well, when I was in 6th grade, I played the saxophone. In church, when I went to my mom's church in Lomita, I played the tambourine, which that's not very hard. As long as you can keep a beat and keep some rhythm, you pretty much got tambourine down.
No retarded reindeer.
Other than that, to me, if you're musically inclined, you can kind of almost pick up anything. When I was in college, I went to Howard Payne University in Brownwood, and I learned, I was in piano, intro to piano or whatever it's called. So I learned how to play that a little bit, not a whole lot. But again, I taught myself how to play guitar. I could read music. I can read it every now and then, but I'm not I can't just see a music sheet and know what chord that is or what note that is, because I have to do the whole face thing or every good boy is fine type of thing when it comes to.
I'm going to have to do a podcast where I'm going to teach people how to read music. It's a little bit of music theory. A 15-minute crash course on music theory.
Dude, music theory. When I was in college, I had to take because I was a music major at the time. Well, my first semester I was, and then I changed that real quick. I was like, I don't like it. I want, I just want to do it for fun. It's something I just want to do for me. I don't want to learn how to sing in Latin and Spanish and French and have to sing, in a more proper way.
Like a chorus, I don't know, like a chorus or something.
Yeah,
like a chorale,
like opera type.
Operatic.
Very, very proper in the way that you're taught. Very classical, I guess, is the word. More classically trained. I didn't want to do that. I felt like they were wanting to change the way that I knew how to sing, and I wasn't all for it. But it's looking back, if I would have went through it, it would have probably helped me a lot, as far as being able to control my vocals better. I feel like I have
with your diaphragm and your breathing.
Yeah, I feel like I do a pretty good job so far. But as far as everything else, I feel like maybe if I would have just stuck with it a little bit more, maybe I would have come to like it. But, oh, man, it was hard. And my first year of college, of course, I didn't want to study. I just wanted the social life of it. I was like, yeah, this is fun. And so I didn't really do great.
You failure.
Yeah, that's kind of what I felt like. But, I don't feel like school is made for everyone. I think everyone can do it if they really set their mind to it, but I don't think it's for everyone.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it's more of a raping of the government. Yeah.
We're not going to get into government stuff because we already went into spiritual stuff. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But, I mean, I just, today. No. But, so, I mean, I learned a little bit on the keyboard. Going back to instruments, I know. I know a little bit on the piano, not much.
Chopsticks, probably.
No, actually, I don't. I used to know it when I was a kid because, you have those little, like, the little play pianos that they have. Mm-hmm. Mine was, like, all blue, and they have the different colors, like the rainbow on the keys. I remember playing with that as a kid.
You had the light-up keyboard, didn't you, when you pressed it where it showed you where to do it?
No, it was like the old school, like 80s, 90s type old school, because I was born in the 90s. So it was like the...
Wow.
Well, I mean, like, not saying...
Ladies and gentlemen, officially the youngest member of our podcast
so far,
family.
yeah. I just turned 21 back in June, so...
I know I said it, but it was like 90s? Wow. I forget what year we're in sometime.
Yeah, I know. But, it wasn't a light-up keyboard at all. I did have an Ernie banjo, though, when I was a kid. So, I mean, if that counts as an instrument.
I'm too old to know what that is, I think.
Ernie banjo? You know Ernie off of Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Like Bert and Ernie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't know he had a banjo.
Well, it was a little play banjo, and he was on it. It was green and like off-white.
This is very detailed childhood and reliving your childhood.
I know. I actually have a picture of me and my dad. When I think it's actually on Facebook, to be honest.
So are you a qualified banjo player?
No.
No, okay. So,
no.
right.
Ernie banjo, yes, but
okay.
other than that, no.
Okay. So, final question, and this is, I like for people to answer this question, without any, just with pure confidence, not guessing or hoping or whatever.
Okay.
Where do you see your career in the next couple of years?
I don't know.
That's a very honest answer.
I couldn't tell you.
Well, that's the end of the podcast. No,
I have no idea. Right now I'm doing classes for EMT. Shout out to the Burnett EMS and ITSI who puts that on. But, I just don't know. I know music is going to always be in my life because it's such a big passion of mine.
You haven't figured out what degree of
exactly
importance.
And especially getting back into, and not to really go deep, but getting back into the whole religious aspect of it. I really don't know which way my music's gonna go. If it is gonna be Texas country, or if it is gonna be like a mix, or if it's just gonna be straight Christian music. I have no idea. I know that I still have a lot of things that I have to figure out, but right now I have fun with it, and I love writing new stuff, especially because I feel like my stuff is a little bit different than some other people's. I mean, I would hate to say that it's just like somebody else's because no one wants to be like someone else. But I definitely have a lot of different influences, not just within mainstream country, but within the Central Texas music scene. Music scene. I don't know. I really don't know where it's going to be. I can tell you where I'd like my life to be in 5 years from now, just my life in general, but career-wise, I couldn't tell you.
All right. That's pretty honest. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, since you're still in the music, like right now you're still in the music,
yeah.
Would you mind playing us another song?
Sure. I'll actually play you my newest one that I wrote.
Okay.
And you hear that unfolding of paper because I really don't know my lyrics that well.
Do we have a music stand?
I have one in my car. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
For the most part, I know it.
What's the title of the song?
Honestly, I don't know if I want to stick with what I have it as, but you can just say, Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner.
Okay.
And that's...
Mama was a saint,
Daddy was a sinner.
Daddy was a sinner. All right, well, before you start playing, I just want to thank everybody once again for all the support for the Central Texas Music Experience. And check out Megan Blair on Reverb Nation. Do you know the exact address? Is it www.reverbnation.com/Megan Blair? Is that what?
I want to say it's Megan Blair Music.
Okay.
If not,
you can go on reverbnation.com and you can actually type in Megan Blair's name. That's MEGAN space BLAIR. I'm sorry, I'm retarded.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, check us out on YouTube and at CT Music Experience. That's the title of our page. Also, check us out on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Central Texas Music Experience and centraltexasmusicexperience.podbean.com, and check us out on iTunes as well. And she's going to play a little closer for us. Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner.
Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner. I grew up on gospel and that outlaw Skinner, with a beer in one hand and a Bible in the other. 'Cause Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner. Born into sin, struggling to do right. Got my halo in the mornings, my horns at night. Following footsteps a little bit bigger. 'Cause Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner. Daddy was a sinner, Mama was a saint. Two different paths that crossed one day. One heart of gold, one chipped away. 'Cause Daddy was a sinner, Mama was a saint. When those lights go down on Friday night, and those neon signs shine on my cold Bud Light, I pray to God I make it through the night. 'Cause Mama was a sinner, Daddy was a saint. Grew up on gospel and the outlaw Skinner, with a beer in one hand, a Bible in the other. 'Cause Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner. Mama was a saint, Daddy was a sinner.
All right. That's a good job. Thank you. I just want to thank Megan Blair for coming out and letting us dig deep into her soul.
I just messed up my song.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
It's new, whatever.
Hey, this is the reality of the music.
For real.
Yeah, sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. So it's a brand new song. So I just want to thank everybody for being fans of our page, and check out Megan Blair at reverbnation.com and facebook.com as well.
Yes, I actually have a Facebook page. Music Facebook page. It's
who would have thought?
all right. It's Megan Blair Music. It's a Facebook page. I have some of my stuff. I'm also connected to Twitter, so everything that I do on Twitter or Facebook, or my Facebook page, I think it's all linked. They all go out to the same thing. So if I post something on Twitter, it's gonna go out like 3 times, not just on Twitter, but on my music page and on my actual Facebook. So.
Alrighty, and check us out. And check us out on check this episode out, episode 5, at YouTube at CT Music Experience page at youtube.com, and out centraltexasmusicexperience.podbean.com. Also check out our Facebook page. It's gonna flash everything on the video, so you'll be able to see it. So and check us out on iTunes as well. And Johnston Plumley and Megan Blair signing out.
All right.
Peace, bitches.
Thanks.